We're finally here, NRL Vegas, baby. So we made it the start of another NRL season. Pretty keen for the games this Sunday and see how the teams are going to go in Vegas. I really hope they're not going to have too much of that American bullshit that goes on, say like halftime and all that. I'm sure we'll probably see it, but should be pretty cool. Anyway, very jealous seeing all the people that have been going over for those games. It would be an absolute time over there. But let's get into the predictions for the two games that we're going to have in Vegas. So the rest will come out after the following team list, though. So that should be on the Tuesday, so only a couple of days after, with prediction videos being on the Wednesday. So up first, we've got Manly versus the Rabbitohs. I think both of these teams on paper are very similar and kind of a 50-50 on this one. I feel like it could definitely go either way. The Rabbitohs in the last couple of years have got the better of them and are the betting favourite. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from the back line of Manly. I think they've actually got a better back line over the Rabbitohs. Obviously, you got guys like AJ and Trell in there, but I think overall their backs are a little bit better. But then the Rabbitohs having a better forward pack as well. So I think they're really going to be able to put the pressure on in the middle. It's going to be interesting seeing with Tommy Turbo coming back into the side as well. Obviously, he can be very dangerous depending on where he's at. There's been a lot of people saying, I think it was obviously they're kind of anyone's going to say that, yeah, he's at full percent, but I think it was Luke Brooks as well was saying on the podcast with Cooper and Matty Johns that he's just, yeah, at full flight. So could be interesting to see how he goes. I'm keen as well, just, yeah, speaking of Brooksy, how he's going to be operating in that side. I've got a really weird feeling that Manly's going to be pushing for that top 8 spot, and on paper, there's no reason why they can't be doing it. And I've got a suspicion that if they're going well, Brooksy's going to become a bit of a cult hero. So yeah, let's see how that goes. I think it's going to be a competitive game, but I think the Rabbitohs are going to be able to just edge it out as well, especially if Trell's able to turn up. Their left side attack is just silky and ridiculously dangerous. It's pretty much certain that AJ is going to get over for a 4-pointer at some times. And between Cody Walker and Troll, the service is just too good out there. So for our fantasy side, we're going to be keeping an eye on Benny Trbojevic, Davida Totola, and, we're just going to chuck Gagai in there for a slap anyway. He's so cheap. That's a proper cheapie in the backs. Why not? So my pick for that game is going to be AJ anytime, and the Rabbitohs take the line, so that's minus 1.5. So it's nothing too crazy, but it's money for jammers, I'd say. Now, with the main event, we've got the Roosters versus the Brisbane Broncos. Broncos are built for this. Broncos are going to pump the actual fuck out of the Roosters. So maybe I'm getting too high on the boys already, but I just think all across the park we've got them covered. I think it's going to end up similar to the game in the finals last year against the Storm. So that's Broncos Storm, where Storm threw everything they had at them and they just couldn't do anything. There was literally nothing they could do. Everything they tried, they just ended up kind of throwing the footy around and hoping. I can see it ending up a little bit like that, where they just, yeah, nothing's going to work. Broncos, in my mind, are undoubtedly the best attacking side in the comp, and if they can keep their defence up like they were last year, I think they're only second best to Penrith. It's got finals footy written all over it. Broncos come out a touch slow. They kind of generally do that, but, once they get that first, second try, and the floodgates tend to open up and they just decide to put 4 or 5 tries on in a pretty quick succession. They're like, oh, wait, that's right. We have the best attacking team in the comp. Let's go over and score. So I can see them putting at least 30 points on the Roosters as well. So both of their backlines are pretty lethal. I think Teddy's going to be in for quite an improved season this time around. I think he's going to be a bit more consistent, but I would have really liked to have seen Young play as well, but he's still out with that neck injury. Arthurs and Dean Mariner, they managed to win the spot over Oatesy as well, which as a big Oates guy myself does hurt a bit, but I thought Mariner looked really dangerous in attack in the trials and had a very solid running game. He's really tempting to put in the fantasy team, but I think he might be one that's a little bit too expensive. You could probably pick him up a bit cheaper, but I can keep an eye on him, see how he goes, especially if he's got that dual position. That's going to be dangerous. Roosters might be able to get 1 or 2 on the board as well, but I think Broncos just have that attacking power to just outscore any team. It'll be like, oh, cool, you got over once or twice. Sweet, we'll just go and score like 4 tries. So I think that's kind of how it's going to play out. I think Broncos 13 plus, easy win there. It's exciting that Pia Cora was named as well. Hopefully he's fully fit and they're not rushing him back just for Vegas, but I don't think they're going to be risking somebody that's going to be very much in their long-term plans. They have other options if needed, so I'm expecting very big things from him as well. For fantasy, we're going to be looking at Wong, the hectic cheese. I'm ready to take the leap with him, honestly. Keep an eye on Hectic Cheese, possibly Teddy at some stage, obviously Piacora, Big Payne Haas, and Xavier as well, and potentially Fletcher. We'll see how he goes for fantasy. So, but my pick for that game is Piacora anytime, and Broncos at the line at -3.5. I think that is free money right there. Hopefully, won't be too many NRL scandals after the games once the boys get let loose in Vegas. But yeah, let me know who you've got in these two games. I think it's going to be really exciting for the NRL overall. And Broncos 13 plus. Catch you next time.